up guys, it's Will here from W.T.F Car Reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing this all-new 2022 Kia Telluride S. Alright, before we start, I just want to give a huge thanks to Wise and the rest of the management and staff here at Regal Kia in Lakeland, Florida for making this review possible. If you're looking for a new car in the Florida area, I would definitely suggest checking these guys out. So for those of you guys who don't know, in 2016, Kia really took the automotive world by storm when they released their three-row concept prototype SUV, which of course we now know as the Telluride. So for 2020, it was released into dealerships, and people that bought this car, people who drove this car, had nothing but great things to say about it. So starting off with the fact that we have about a 300 horsepower, 3.8 liter naturally aspirated V6 engine, 8-speed auto transmission, all for a base price around 35,000 bucks with very solid options. You really can't beat that nowadays. So this vehicle really got a lot of attention from people that are looking for three-row SUVs, which nowadays is quite a lot of people. But as far as exterior styling, let's jump right into it. So up front, you're going to have your all-new Kia badge. This is going to be new for 2022 vehicles, and a really large Telluride nameplate up here. I like this trim over here. It's not going to be the shiniest chrome. It's not very reflective. It's more of a brushed aluminum material, and I really like it. Beneath that, you're going to have your really nice black grille. I'm a big fan of the way it looks. I wish they had a little bit more openings here for airflow, but beneath the Kia badge, you can see you got quite a bit of openings for the airflow for your radiator. Down here, you're gonna have more. Down here, you're gonna have a little bit more of that brushed aluminum trim, more body color over here, and here we got some more functional airflow for the radiator. Down here, you're gonna have a little bit more of a color match design. It looks really good, and a little bit of a panel area where that houses your advanced safety features. And this vehicle does have quite a few. Very impressive for a vehicle that stickers around 37,000 bucks. But anyway, continuing over here, you're gonna check out your fully LED headlights. You're gonna have LED daytime running strips too. They're like a square design. They look really good when they're on, and we're going to check that out in about a minute. But these are going to be for your low and high beam. Down here, you're going to have additional lights right here, but down here, this doesn't lead to your brakes, but it is functional. It's going to be completely going out to the side to help your aerodynamics. But we can take a step back. You can check out the front end one more time, and I do think it looks really good, but when it's turned on, it looks much better with the daytime running lights. But let's take a step over here. We could check out this wheel and tire setup. So over here, we're gonna have our optional, well, not optional, this is gonna be coming on your S trim, but we got the 20-inch rims. They're gonna be wrapped in 245/50 R20 Pirelli Scorpion Zero tires. Pretty good all-season compound, especially for an SUV. It's gonna be pretty capable off-road while still having very good on-road performance. But as far as the rims, they are styled pretty well. I like the silver contrast to the gunmetal gray and your Kia logo, that all-new Kia logo in the middle. But that's about it. We can continue along. You can see that you do get a little bit of black plastic. That is functional, so when you are off-roading and the rocks are splattering from your wheels, you're not going to damage your paint. But continuing along over here for the mirror, you are going to have an LED strip for your turn signal. And I'm not sure if you can pick it up, but you are going to have a little bit of a contrast with a flat black area over here and the rest of your body-colored dark moss paint color. And it's a really nice paint color. I don't know if you can pick it up, but it is going to be a metallic. And it looks really nice. It's like a greenish goldish color. I'm not quite sure how to explain it in words. I hope it comes up on camera as nice as it is in the sun. But over here, as far as the mirror itself, it's going to be a really large piece of glass. It's going to take up the frame very well, and you got blind spot monitoring, and it is heated too, so it's going to help you out for colder environments. But as far as the window trim, it may look like chrome on camera, but I'm telling you, this is not. This is like a more brushed aluminum trim. It looks really good. I'm not a big fan of chrome trim on window trims, but with vehicles that have tinted windows with tinted rear hatches, they usually make it look a little bit better. But nevertheless, I would still prefer brushed aluminum over chrome in all situations, so definitely a thumbs up to Kia. And speaking of tinted windows, yes, they are going to be tinted back here, so it may be a little bit tough to see this window sticker. But you guys can pause. You can take a look at all the standard equipment over here that will come on your base Telluride versus what we get here on the S trim. We do get a couple additional features. But anyway, what stands out to me the most, obviously going to be the 3.8 direct injected V6, 8-speed auto transmission, drive mode select, and the all-wheel drive system we have here, you can lock it. So you can have permanent all-wheel drive, or you can have it so it's automatic and you'll save a little bit of gas here and there. But another thing that I'm super impressed with is check out all these standard safety features you get on a base Telluride. You're gonna have forward collision avoidance assist, you're gonna have blind spot collision alert, you're gonna have lane keep assist, rear cross traffic alert, lane following assist, safe exit assist, highway driving assist, smart cruise control with stop and go, parking distance warning only in reverse, though you're only gonna have parking sensors for the reverse, no front facing parking sensors. Not a big deal, also not really expected on a base model trim. You're gonna get those available on the higher trims. You can take a pause, take a look at all the safety features. Yes, we are going to get a 10.25-inch touchscreen with navigation and map care, UVO link for a year, rear view camera with dynamic guidelines, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, smart button. You're going to have smart access for the driver and the front passenger. Great features overall. Syntex seats, could have fooled me. These seats are really, really comfortable. They look like leather, feel like leather, smell like leather, and you even got perforated seats in the middle, which will make the heated function work much better. One touch slide and fold second row seats. You're gonna check those out in a minute. They're very convenient and very nice seats too. So the standard features here would be 18-inch rims. This is the S trim, so we're gonna have these 20s, and you're gonna have a spare tire, rear privacy glass, so these tints are standard. But that's about it, guys. If you want to read into more detail, you guys can pause. As far as the additional features that we get here on the S trim, yes, we're gonna get these 20-inch rims, roof rails, chrome finish exterior trim, but it's a satin chrome, so that's what they categorize it. So it's not a brushed aluminum, it's a satin chrome. It looks really good, definitely a fan compared to traditional chrome. Yes, we're gonna get a wireless charger, second row captain's chairs, power adjustable driver's seat with power lumbar, heated front seats, LED interior lamps, and a leather trim shift knob. We're also going to have wheel locks and carpeted floor mats as additional features. Base price, MSRP, after all these options, is going to be sitting around $37,500. After destination, you are going to be sitting closer to $39,000. Still a great overall value considering what this car gives you. As far as fuel economy, expect around 21 mpgs, 19 city, 24 highway. Pretty good overall, guys. Definitely impressive. But other than that, we can continue this little walk around. You're going to have a push to open gas tank. No easy fill. I do wish they gave you that, but not a big deal. You can put regular fuel in this car. Very convenient. Back here, these are not going to be LEDs. However, for the higher trims, you are going to get LED taillights, and you got your reverse lights right here. But over here, you got your new Kia badge. Very large Telluride nameplate. Everyone's going to know that you got the Telluride all-wheel drive badge right there. But anyway, you can check out your reverse sensors, your exhaust tip. I like the dual exhaust tip, but it would be nicer if they had one tip on each side, just in my opinion. But we'll take one last step back. You guys can check out the rear view styling, and they finally cut the grass over here, so I'm not quite as worried about the snakes as I usually am, but watch today be the day that I get bit. But let's start this 2022 Telluride S up and hear how she sounds. Alright guys, so that was of course the sound of the 3.8 liter V6 sold by Kia for the Telluride, and it sounds pretty good for a naturally aspirated V6. But let's pop her up. It's nice that we get struts, definitely a fan of that. But here you have it. It does sit pretty low. I'm not a big fan of the driver's side battery, definitely not a big fan of the intake being towards the back of the engine bay, but they figured it out. They did put a little bit of a tube over here so you're not just inhaling hot air. But this engine's gonna be making 291 horsepower, 262 pound-feet of torque, enough to get this 4,200 pound SUV to 60 in between 6.5 and 7 seconds. Very respectable numbers. You'll see that with this 3.8 liter direct injected V6, this SUV accelerates very smoothly and very effectively. One last thing, you can notice that between your strut towers, you are gonna have a pretty stiff support. That's gonna help your overall handling, keeping this a pretty nimble SUV. But let's shut this thing up. Really hot. Let's take a step back. You guys can check out the front styling one last time. Very nice, especially once the car is on. But let's take a step over here and check out the interior on this 2022 Kia Telluride S. So first thing you notice up top, you're gonna have some soft touch materials for where your arm is gonna rest. Very nice, very luxurious. Beneath that, you're gonna have some faux aluminum woodish trim. I'm not quite sure what this material is, but I like it. You got some brushed aluminum, satin chrome. I'm not sure what they actually call it, but it looks really good with your aluminum door handle as well. You're gonna have power one touch for the windows for the front and the back, so that's pretty luxurious. You got your lock controls, you got your mirror controls, and a really comfortable, very soft armrest right here. And check out this storage. Very, very large storage capacity. Over here, it's gonna be hard touch, but on the higher trims, it's not gonna be. But it's nice that even for this relatively base trim, you're gonna have very high quality materials. This is gonna be a 6-speaker sound system, but it still sounds really good. Down here, you can check out the storage. You're gonna have a pretty decent amount of space over here. You can probably fit a 12-ounce bottle, maybe a couple sandwiches over here too. Very solid amount of space. But let's take a step over here, check out these Syntex seats. Yes, they're not gonna be leather, it's gonna be a faux leather material, but they are still gonna be really, really comfortable. They're gonna be very soft in the bottom. You got your perforated middle, so it's gonna help the heat work very well. It's gonna make the seats a little bit softer too. The bolsters are gonna be a little bit stiffer than the middle part of the seat. That's gonna keep you supported very well. Headrest, also very soft, very ergonomic too. It's kind of shaped, at least like my head. But you can come down here, you can see that this vehicle does have full power seats, lumbar control right here. They do lift in 2 different directions, so they got full adjustability. Very, very impressive. But let's take a step inside and see what we really got. So let's turn this air down so you guys can hear a little bit. But all right, first thing you notice in here, let's go with the steering wheel. So it's going to be a very thick leather steering wheel. Definitely an impressive steering wheel. I've always been saying that Kia and Hyundai have been killing it, especially Hyundai when it comes to steering wheels. Kia's been a little better when it comes to turn signals. However, the turn signals here aren't as high quality as they were in the GT line or the GT Kia K5 that we reviewed. But anyway, it's still a very nice turn signal here. As far as the steering wheel, the reason I like these designs so much is because you have a very nice 10-2 bolstering notch. So if you're a 10-2 guy, you have a very good location for your hands. If you're a 9-3 guy, they have a very nice thumb slot right here too. And it does wrap around in the back, so it fits your fingers very nicely. But if you're not one of those guys, you want to have your arm on your lap. Very, very accommodating steering wheel, very reckless, but you can still drive like this if you would like to. If you want to have your arm on the armrest, these little like pockets over here fit very well. And if you want to have your right arm on the armrest, you can still drive with your arm right here. So it doesn't matter how you want to drive this SUV, you're going to be comfortable no matter where your arms are. Definitely a thumbs up for Kia for the steering wheel. But continuing with the steering wheel, you can see this middle, it's going to look like it's stitched, but it's really not. It's just going to be a hard plastic material with your new Kia badge. As far as the horn, not that aggressive of a horn, but it still sounds decent enough. As far as steering wheel controls, you got your voice commands up top, you got your volume controls and your skip controls right here. You got your phone settings over here as well. Over here you got your cruise control settings. You got radar cruise control right here, and over here you can change up the center display. So we got a compass. You guys can check it out. You can see your fuel up top. You can see your lane departure settings. You can see your system settings and overall user settings over here. But let's see everything that we got. So coming down over here, you can see your accumulated info, drive info, digital speedo. That's pretty cool. They gave you that. You got your drive mode selector. It tells you what modes you're in. Over here, as far as the compass, that's all they're going to give you. As far as the lane departure settings, you also have your attention level. You got your, I guess, tire pressure or blind spot information. You got, okay, here's your tire pressure. You can only see it once you're driving, and your overall system settings. Over here, you can see you can adjust your door, lights, sound, convenience, service interval, and you can reset over here after you get an oil change. But we're going to leave it in the digital speedometer setting. That's probably my favorite overall. You can also see the temperature outside and how many miles are on the vehicle. As far as the gauges, you're going to have a 6,500 RPM tachometer with a 160 mile an hour speedometer over here. You got your fuel tank right here, and you got your internal temperatures over here. Pretty well detailed. As far as the dashboard, you're going to have very soft touch material. It's going to be stitched too. Very nice. It's not going to be leather wrapped, obviously, but it's going to be a very soft material nevertheless. Coming down over here, you got some chrome around your air vents. It's not going to be the shiny chrome, obviously. It's going to still be your satin chrome. Down here, you got your brightness for the interior. You can turn off your blind spot information. You could turn off your lane departure settings. You could turn off your traction control right here. So pretty impressive overall. The steering wheel, it's not going to be power, tilt, and telescoping. Not really expected with a vehicle in the segment. It's going to be still manually tilt and telescoping with very good range too. Very impressive. But continuing over here, this is the big part of this interior. You're going to have your 10.25-inch touchscreen. Basic Kia touchscreen. You're going to have your map right here. This vehicle does have navigation, and as far as the navigation screen, very responsive to the touch. Really impressive. If you're not a big fan of Apple CarPlay, you're going to be more than happy with the factory navigation system. But you got a ton of options over here. You got your passenger talk. You can talk to the people in the back. I don't know if you guys can hear the echo, but that's pretty cool. Let's get out of here because that's kind of freaking me out. Hopefully it stops soon. So we're going to have to actually press for it to stop. And okay, cool. There we go. That was pretty weird. Hope you guys picked up how functional that is. But you got your setup settings, you got sounds of nature, UVO, user's manual, and your media settings right here. So pretty impressive overall. Let's go ahead and just throw it into the map. I think that's pretty cool screen to just look at all times. You got your air vents right here. They're probably blasting into my phone right now. You can go right here too. So if you don't want to go through the touchscreen, you can just press map. You can press nav, radio, media, seek, and your setup settings at any moment. So you get your hazards right here. As far as the dials for the volume, very nice feeling. They have a very good resistance with your tune over here. Auto climate, of course, and these dials are also very nice as well. Beneath the climate controls, you're going to have heated seats. No cooled seats, unfortunately, not on this trim, but you're going to have heated seats for both front passengers. But you press this button right here, you got a little bit of additional storage. In here, you're going to have a wireless charger. You're going to have a 12-volt outlet right here. You can plug in your radar detector right there. You got USB, and you got another USB port right there. No USB-Cs, unfortunately, but you do get the wireless charger, which is nice. Right here, you got your shifter. This is going to control your 8-speed auto transmission. We got this thing over here. We'll try to move that out of the way. But as far as you throw into reverse, check out the backup camera. It's not going to be the best resolution. You do get rear parking sensors. That's nice. But you can see that the trajectories are very nice and functional. But anyway, we'll throw it back into, we'll throw it into drive. So if you put into drive, push it to the left, this is gonna be your manual controls. And you're not gonna have any paddle shifters here, unfortunately, but also not really necessary or expected with this vehicle in the segment. But that's gonna be how you shift manually. It's not gonna be the proper way to pull back. It's gonna be the downshift. To push forward is gonna be how you upshift, but not a big deal. We'll throw it back into park. And another thing I don't really like is you have to be going close to 10 miles per hour for the screen to transition between the reverse camera and just a regular map. I'm sure that's adjustable in the settings. It would be nice for the reverse camera to turn off as soon as you put the vehicle into drive, but I'm sure there's a reason why manufacturers are doing that, because these aren't the only guys that do it. A lot of manufacturers keep the reverse cameras on for an extended period of time. I'm not sure why they do that. If you want to leave it in the comment section, let me know. But continuing down here, you're going to have a pair of like holy crap handles in case someone's driving like a maniac. I'm not sure why you would need one on this side, but if you want to comfortably rest your hand here, I guess it's a good spot to do that. Back here, if you want to lock your four-wheel drive, you simply press this button right here, and you're going to be permanently in four-wheel drive, and you're going to see a little bit of a lock emblem right over there. But anyway, we can put this thing back into four-wheel drive auto. We don't need it to be locked right now. We got sport mode over here, you got smart mode over here, eco, and snow. So very good selectability. We're going to start the review in comfort and then transition into sport, see what the differences are. Over here you can turn off your auto start stop. We'll do that for the purpose of this review. Auto hold, so at red lights you don't have to keep your foot on the brake. Your electronic parking brake right here, and you can turn off your parking sensors if you would like to right over here. But as far as cup holders, they're going to be rubberized, very nice. They're going to be a square shape. I don't know if there's any square cups that you guys have seen, but I guess Kia's seen them, so they're going to give you square cup holders. But not a big deal. You're going to have a little bit of additional storage right here. It's a nice little area for coins. But as far as center console, you're going to have some very soft stitched leather. Very nice place to rest your arm. Open it up. I usually use a 6-pack or 12-pack reference for the size of the center console for most of my reviews. But as you can see, this is way above that. You can probably fit a bowling ball in here, and you got some room on the side for a couple water bottles. Really massive center console. You could really fit a ton of stuff in here. But we'll shut that up. As far as the glove box, you pull this little latch. It is damped, and it is lined with felt. That's impressive. I wasn't really expecting it to be lined with felt. It's very wide, but it's not the deepest. So you're probably going to fit between 10 to 12 license plates. But that's more than enough space for a glove box. Definitely impressive overall. Up here, you're not going to have an auto dimming rear mirror, but it is very well zoomed. You can see the rear glass very easily, but it would be nice if they gave you an auto dimming rear mirror. You're going to have your sunglass holders right here, and you are going to have a sunroof. It's not going to be panoramic like some vehicles in this segment, but it's still a functional sunroof that lets a very good amount of light into this cabin. But that's about it for the front seat, guys. Very luxurious, very impressive for a vehicle that's under 40,000 bucks. Let's hop out back, see how high quality the materials are, and see how much space we have overall. All right, so stepping in the back seat of the 2022 Telluride S. We're not gonna have any soft touch materials up top. It's gonna be hard plastic for the upper part of the door panel. Down here, we're still gonna have that faux aluminum woodish trim. Very nice material, not quite sure what it is, but I do think it looks really good, especially with the satin chrome finish right here with the aluminum door handle. Looks really, really good. Hard plastic beneath that over here. Very good storage. It is rubberized, so your coins aren't gonna be flying around. Very soft armrest too. Very nice place to rest your arm. Over here, a little bit more hard plastic, kind of to be expected, with a Power One Touch up and down window. Down here, you have another speaker with a little bit more storage underneath. You may be able to fit a 12-ounce bottle in here. It is kind of like cut out for it, but I'm not sure how easily you'll be able to fit it, and possibly a couple sandwiches on the side. But as far as the seats, you're still going to have your Syntex leather seats, not leather seats, but faux leather seats. Very comfortable, very soft, and high quality materials. These are going to be captain's chairs. That's going to be coming on this S trim. But let's take a step inside and see how much space we got and see how high quality the materials are overall. So I'm 6 feet tall sitting behind my seat settings. I have a ton of space back here. Very spacious second row. You may not be noticing any air vents right here. You're like, wow, why don't we have any air vents? They're literally blowing right in your face. Perfect location for the air vents. Big fan of that. Very luxurious SUV, guys. You are going to have map pockets back here behind both passengers, or even both the driver and the front passenger. And you are going to have USBs attached to both seats. Very interesting location for USBs. I definitely haven't seen that very frequently. But 2 cup holders right here. Nice location too. Very spacious. Look at all this space for my feet, my legs. Unbelievable. No center console over here. I'm sure it's an option, but right here we're just going to have these little captain's chairs, arm holders. But pretty comfortable overall. You're just gonna have a little pass through, making it a lot more comfortable for the people in the third row. But speaking of the third row, that's about it for the second row. I hope you guys get a good sense of the overall space and high quality of the materials. Very impressive back here. So far, this is one of the more impressive SUVs that I've been in. But let's check out the third row and see if it's usable for somebody that's 6 feet tall. All right, guys, so to get into the third row, Kia really thought it through. All you got to do is press this button right here, and the seat slides all the way for you. This gives me a very easy amount of space to get through and situated into the third row. So taking your seat back here, very easy process. Pull this thing back. This isn't where the seat was originally. This is farther forward, but with the seat in this setting, I got a ton of space back here. One of the most spacious third rows with the seat all the way back. I'll slide myself right over here for you so you can see the legroom with the second row seats all the way back. So yeah, my knees are going to be starting to touch, but worst case scenario, I can put this one leg in the middle and I got a very decent amount of overall space. You're going to have 2 USBs, one on each side of the third row. This area, these armrests are not going to be padded, unfortunately. I do wish they were. You are going to get 2 cup holders on both sides, however, so you can fit 4 cups back here. You can charge 2 devices, and you could probably seat 3 people in an emergency situation. So for an 8-seater SUV, well, a 7-seater, I guess, since we got these cabin chairs, very, very impressive. Huge thumbs up to Kia. That's about it for the third row, guys. Let's check out the trunk real quick and then take this car out for a drive. All right, guys, so to get into the trunk, you simply just press this button right here. We don't have a power opening trunk, unfortunately, but it is hydraulically assisted, so it comes up very easily. And as you saw, we were just in the third row. With the third row up, you still have a very decent amount of space. We do have our floor mats right here, unfortunately, but if we could lift this thing up over here, you're gonna notice that you have a very large area over here too. Super impressive. You got a spare underneath here too. If I was the owner of this vehicle, I might unscrew this little cover and have it so that I have a permanent little inlet here if I had the third rows permanently up. But overall, really, really impressive. Let's get these out of the way and get this thing back to where it was. But to pull these third row seats down, all you got to do is just pull this latch again, push it forward, let it fall. Same thing on this side, pull it, let it fall, or you might have to give it a little bit of a push. But there you have it. You can take a step back, see how much space you have with the second rows up. You fold those second rows down, I'm telling you, you could probably fit an 85-inch TV back here. Very impressive cargo space, very large opening, really impressive. And the step-in height, it's not even that high. I'm 6 feet tall, you can check it out. My knee is just about at the same level as the step-in height is. So if you have older pets, smaller pets, they can jump back here with no problem at all. Really impressive SUV, they really knocked it out of the park. Let's shut this thing up right here, take a step back, and let's take this car out for a drive. All right, guys, so now that we've just about seen everything we need to see with the inside and outside of the all-new 2022 Kia Telluride S, let's take it out for a drive. As soon as we got some open space over here, we're gonna take a step out onto this road and lean into about a third of the way. Very strong acceleration. You get to speed with no problem at all. It goes to about 3,800 RPM, and you get to speed very, very quickly. But all right, stepping out onto this road, we're gonna be crossing these train tracks in a second. You can check out this overall ride quality. But right here, don't really feel much, and you don't even hear much. You usually hear a little bit on train tracks, but right there, you really didn't hear that much. This guy's making the right turn in front of us. We'll step in the gas right here. Wow, third throttle, and it picks up quick. Throwing it in. Wow, there's really no body roll. I was not expecting it to be that sharp. Guys, this is a legit vehicle. Wow. And we're just in comfort mode, and the steering is sharp, it's direct. You turn the wheel a little bit, the wheels are old. This is an impressive SUV, guys. We're gonna try to get an off-the-line acceleration as soon as we can and see how this car can really accelerate, but just driving it around, you have an excellent ride. It's very quiet on bumps and on pavement. Very good tire noise. You don't really hear much through the tires. You don't really hear much through the bumps either. So it's a very well sorted out vehicle all around. When you throw it into the turns, not a lot of body roll, not a lot of play through the steering wheel. It feels really good. I'm not exaggerating. This vehicle feels surprisingly good. I can definitely see why everybody who drives this car has just nothing but great things to say about it. But all right, guys, we have a little bit of space. It'll be a good opportunity to see how this car can accelerate off the line. We'll throw it into sport mode and just mash the gas. Wow, okay. This thing is no slouch. Woo, quick shifts. Yeah, okay, we don't have to push much farther than that. It's a very capable SUV. Definitely does 0 to 60 in the mid to high 6s. Throwing it in, it's so sharp. And in sport mode, it definitely favors. Whoa, I'm barely on the gas right now. It's a little bit too sensitive actually for my liking. I don't want it to be this sensitive for downshifts, but wow, throwing it into these turns, it is so nice. And whew, yeah, sport is really sensitive. You barely tapping the gas and the RPMs are just shooting up. but still feels really nice. As far as the steering, I don't really feel much difference. It does have a little bit more weight to it in sport, but very, very marginal amount. It's not as noticeable as a lot of other vehicles in this segment. But we're gonna take a turn over here onto this road, and after this, I'll throw on the hat so you guys can get a little bit of a POV shot of this driving experience. But just lightly on the gas, taking it to about 2,500 RPM. We are still in sport, so we're gonna be going pretty high in terms of RPMs without really trying, but throwing it in right here, it is instant. As soon as you turn that wheel, this vehicle's ready to move. But yeah, very impressive overall. We're gonna turn around, head back to Regal Kia, and on the way back, you guys can get a nice first-hand look behind the wheel. All right, guys, stepping back out here, this time behind your guys' point of view. We'll throw it into the manual mode, check out how these shifts work. So second gear, matting it. Not a lot of torque, but the shifts are pretty delayed too, so it doesn't really respond as quickly as I would want, and we don't have to be pushing it too far in a neighborhood like this. But hope you guys get the point. Not the most initial torque, and these aren't the most responsive shifters. So it's obviously 99% of the people that buy this car aren't going to be using the manual shifting mode, so can't give them really a minus for it. But I do wish that Kia gave us slightly better manual shifting ability. But stepping back out into this road, barely on the gas, light acceleration. The steering feels so good, and when you hit the bumps, you don't really hear much. We're still in manual mode. We'll throw it back into the automatic, and we'll also throw it into comfort, because that's going to be the mode that this vehicle is usually driven in. And just driving around normally, the steering did lighten up quite a bit, pretty noticeably too. I didn't really notice the steering change when we put it into sport, but going back to comfort from sport, you definitely feel a little bit of a change. Not that much still, but a little bit. But just driving around, guys, this is a very comfortable driving SUV. I would almost say that this vehicle drives like it's ahead of its class. I haven't driven too many new vehicles in this segment, but compared to the Highlander, compared to the new Outlander, I definitely think this is a better vehicle overall. The new Outlander, you get a really good overall bang for your buck in terms of luxury features. You do get more features in the fully loaded Outlander than you would in this car, but this car gives you a much better platform when it comes to performance. So if you're more into features and tech, then I would go for the Outlander. If you're more into performance and still have a little bit of tech while having the better performance, then I would of course recommend this car. Both cars are great. It all depends on your preference. Most people don't really need the extra power. They would actually prefer having better fuel economy, but that's not me. I would rather have the power. So if you're someone like me, I would definitely recommend this car. It's one of the better vehicles in the segment for sure. But just throwing it through these turns at pretty light speeds, the car feels so stable. It's just ready to go faster, honestly. Most SUVs in the segment, at least, they don't want to go faster. You push a lot of SUVs in the segment, they're going to be body rolling, understeering, making all sorts of noises. That's not the case here at all. This SUV drives really well. It's great for the passengers. You got all the features and tech you could ever want or need. You got decent fuel economy. You got a good transmission, the ZF 8-speed. What more could you want? This is a great overall vehicle. I am going to review the base model for you guys too, if you don't want to pay the extra couple $1,000 for the bells and whistles. And even the base model, you get a lot of great standard features. You don't get a wireless charger, you don't get these 20-inch rims, but you still get all the advanced safety features. You still get the 10.25-inch display. You still get the Syntax seats with heated seats, I believe. I'm not sure if they're heated actually. We'll check that out once we do the next review. But both vehicles are very good values. This one just has a couple more features, but as soon as we have an open road for this highway, we'll do one more acceleration run and then head back to Regal Kia. And again, huge thanks to them for making this review possible. They always help me out with these reviews. They're a very kind group of guys, and I would definitely suggest anybody looking for a new car in the Florida area to come check these guys out. But all right, stepping out into this road, we'll step in the gas pretty hard. Wow, this thing gets the speed really quickly, guys. Wow, we already caught up to the truck with very little effort. Pretty impressive. And the V6 sounds surprisingly good. But all in all, guys, you see it. I'm super impressed with this SUV. I would 100% recommend it to anybody looking to buy a premium 3-row SUV with sufficient space for the whole family, but they don't want to spend too much money. This is really one of the greatest ways you can go with it. You have literally everything you could ever want and need. You have very good performance. It looks pretty good. I'm not going to say it's a beautiful car, of course, but it looks good enough. Most people that buy SUVs in the segment aren't buying it because of the styling, but the styling is still pretty good, especially with these 20-inch rims. But all in all, guys, thank you so much for watching. I had a great time making this video. Truly surprising, really surprising SUV. But if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, join the W.T.F family. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. You know, I have endless gratitude for all the subscribers. You know, the channel is just not possible without you guys. But other than that, guys, again, I had a great time making this video, and I hope all of you have a great day.